So thank you for reciting the Heart Sutra. I think everybody has a different chanting, different mantra, different prayers, which is you usually recite in the morning. So for you, like my request, each time, every day when you get up in the morning, you shouldn't think, I have to go there, I have to do this. Just when you get up in the morning, you should think, okay, so I'm so lucky. I have enough lucky because I didn't die yesterday. Someone passed away yesterday. Someone passed away last night. Someone passed away the day before. You should think, I'm so lucky. I'm still survive. And then you should think, okay, so as I survive, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to use my time in the wrong purpose. I'm going to use my time, my energy, my facility for always in a good way. That means you are developing, cultivating some kind of compassion, or also you are cultivating some kind of good thoughts. So this kind of motivation, this kind of thoughts, you just carries all days. Wherever you walk, wherever you do something, wherever you meet, so you always should have a good motivation. And you have a time, fast time, if you have time, you should recite the Heart Sutra. And think about the history of Buddha. And think about the meaning of Heart Sutra. Because Heart Sutra is the essence of Prajaparamita teaching. There are hundreds of thousands of volumes in the past, and all the essence put together in the Heart Sutra. So every morning, so before you recite any mantra, any chanting, something, just recite the Heart Sutra. Is a good way to start your day. Then in the evening, when you came back from your workplace, or when you came back from somewhere in your home, and you have a dinner or you have some juice or something, and you just reflect, you need to do some reflection what you did in the today. So I have argument with someone due to this reason, that you will think, okay, since tomorrow I'm not going to have a argument with someone. I'm not going to have a really strong anger. And sometimes you have some problems due to some attachment. Then you should think, yes, due to the attachment, due to the anger, so I faced those problems today. So since today, I'm not going to face those problems. I know all the negative emotions are very bad. It makes me suffer, also it makes suffer other people. So this means you need to think about the bad quality, about the negative emotions, negative actions, and negative thoughts. That means in the morning you have a good motivation, then you carry the motivation all day. In the evening, you are doing some kind of research about your practice, about your action, about your motivation. And then you can make a total conclusion. Okay, so today, this morning I have this motivation, then I've done this thing, and in the evening you should make some calculation. So if you go this way, each day you can have a really good progress for your practice. And today is the last class of Dudra, the correct topic. Also today is the last class of how we can look all the phenomena from the Buddhist point of view. So actually, this kind of Dudra is not really talking about Buddhist practice. But Dudra in the corrective topic is talking about the nature of all the fundamental nature of all phenomena, include the mind, physical body, and the person, permanent, impermanent. You are giving from the Dudra, you are going to get a lot of good knowledge about the phenomena. So also if you want, you can put into practice what you learn from Dudra. And generally, Dudra is just kind of giving education. So today is the last class of Dudra. So you have a copy. When you have a little free time, and you just read some 2 pages, 3 pages, or if you have more time, you can read 10 pages and think about the phenomena. So this I want to say. So today I make a sort of conclusion what I taught last more than 1 month.
Yes, more than 1 month.
More than 1 month. So I hope you got some knowledge, some idea from this class. So today I make a conclusion how you need to remember the class. So the first, I said, all the phenomena, all the existent or non-existent, in everything we must include into selflessness. That means, the first and when Buddha Shakyamuni gave a teaching about 4 noble truths, and also he talked about impermanence, suffering, emptiness, and selflessness. Is why it is so important to put everything, why it is so important, everything include into selflessness. Because we have to learn nothing exists inherently, nothing exists independently, nothing exists unindependently. Everything exists as a dependently. So when you understand things are exist independently, things are being into exist due to different causes and conditions or different reasons. Therefore, you understand, yes, for me, I can see things are exist independently, but in the reality, it not really exist.
So you mean interdependently?
Yeah.
Interdependent?
No. When you perceive the thing, you can perceive the thing as independently, exist independently, but the reality level is not exist, independently. It exists dependently. Yeah. So the first, all the phenomena, existent or non-existent, we can put into selflessness. So within the selflessness, so we have a 2 category, 2 branches, right? Existent and non-existent. So it's clear. So non-existent, we don't have a definition, we don't have a subdivision because it not exists. But within the existence phenomena, we have 2 groups. Before we move the branches, so there are few things which is equivalent, right? Existent, object of knowledge, and establishments. So these are equivalent. So there's a definition of definition of existent phenomena, definition of knowledge object, definition of the basis things. You must understand that definition. So within the existent phenomena, we have 2 categories, 2 branches. What? Permanent and impermanent. So whatever we feel, whatever we see, whatever we have, so everything either permanent or impermanent. So there is not any single phenomena which is not permanent, not impermanent. So that means the existent phenomena must be, include permanent and impermanent. So within the permanence, there are 2 groups, 2 categories, 2 subdivisions. But I said sometimes, somewhere permanent, everywhere, every time permanent. So what is the example of the permanent, which is sometimes permanent, somewhere permanent? For example, I said space of the cup. space of this house, emptiness of this house, emptiness of this cup. These are, we can say, somewhere, sometime permanent. Not everywhere, every time. Why I said, for example, the emptiness of the cup is permanent somewhere where the cup is exist. This means the emptiness of cup is permanent here. The emptiness of cup is not permanent here, because the emptiness cup will not exist here, because here the no cup does not exist. So the second one, what is the example of permanent, always everywhere? I said the emptiness is permanent everywhere, every time, generally speaking. And also, you shouldn't have a confusion. I said existent phenomena, knowledge of object phenomena, the basis are permanent everywhere, every time. Generally, we can put existing phenomena into permanent, not impermanent. So there's a definition of permanent, right? So we just finished the permanent part side. Now we move into impermanent side. So before we move, we talk about impermanence. So there are few, equivalent, right? So about impermanence, then condition phenomena, and cause, condition, impermanence are equivalent. That's why I said, this glass case is impermanence, because it is, it is changing moment by moment. This is condition phenomena, because it is come into exist due to different causes and condition. This was the condition phenomena. Also, this glass of case, we can say this is cause, because it produces its own result. This is cause because it has its own result. Also, this is we call result, fruit, because it produced by some other factors. This means, all the impermanence phenomena produce their own result. That's what we call all the impermanence phenomena are cause, because it can produce their own result. All the impermanence phenomena are fruit or result, because it also produced by their own causes and condition, right? That means, so you must think all the impermanence phenomena must be cause, must be condition, must be impermanence, must be condition phenomena. So we learn generally. The second, you just transform the idea on yourself. I am impermanence. I was impermanent yesterday. I will be impermanence tomorrow. I never be permanent. Then, for you, if you remember this idea all the time, then you really, really wish to be pure person. Right now, why we have a lot of problem in this world? Why we have a lot of problem in the society? Somebody cheat you, somebody bullied you, somebody stole you, somebody, do so many things. Because most time the people, I need a lot of money. Due to having a lot of money, they have to cheat. If the person thinks, yes, I need a money, but I'm not sure I able to use this money tomorrow or not. Then for you, you lost the desire about, collecting a lot of money. So in the notion of impermanence is very important. That's why Buddha Shakyamuni said, notion of impermanent is the best notion. If you remember impermanence, it leads you or practice impermanence. That's why, first he talked about the Four Noble Truths, then first he talked about the suffering, truth of suffering. The first time, and Buddha talked about impermanence. Why, the things are impermanence? We don't accept things are changing because behind the thing there's a creator. If there's a creator, if they're behind all impermanence phenomena, behind there's a very powerful person or there's something very powerful which can change everything, we don't accept that. We accept everything, all the things are impermanence because it arising through their own causes and condition. All the impermanence phenomena arising through cause and condition, their own causes and conditions are the cause of the impermanence. For example, if you leave this book today here, you cannot see there's a changes in this book. If you leave 1 day, 2 days, no. If somebody just make a fire, burn, you can see that the changes is obviously is a very gross level. The gross levels of impermanence, they need different conditions. The subtle impermanence is come because their own causes. It doesn't need any other factors. For example, the book, if you leave this like 1 day, 2 days, you cannot see the subtle impermanence. After 1 year, if you come back this hall, then you can see, the last year the book was very fresh, very nice. This today is quite old. But the changes never happen within 1 second. For example, think about, we are very close to New Year. So we're going to finish the old years. The old year finished just not 1 day. So, very subtle changes. Second, like a milliminute. Then second, then half hour, then 1 hour, then 12 hours, then 1 day. Then 1 month, then 12 months. Look at thing about the years is changing. Is come basis from the momentarily changing. If you think this way, it's very interesting, that when we say year, everything is very long. But we cannot have a really long year. A long must divide into month divide into week divide into day, month, hours, minute, minute. That very subtle moment. The time is beginning from the very subtle moment. And also the impermanent phenomena. For example, the table, it just looks like one piece. It's not really one piece. It's just a lot of pieces. If you pick up one piece of this table, it's look just like 1 inch. It's not really one. Within the 1 inches of this table, it has lot of substance. If you go more deeper, more precisely, finally you can find there's only 4 substance. Very subtle level. Within the 4 substance, if you pick up one, you still can, you can still divide into small pieces. Look at things as, the form is starting from very subtle level. If you go more deeper, then you look like totally zero. This is shunya, zero. We cannot, for us, we cannot divide the smallest one. So there is a question, even though modern scientists or like a Buddhist philosopher, there is a question. Everything we can ask, we can arise. If there is a simulast, let's say simulast, phenomena exists or not. Simulast substance exists or not. If we say, yes, this particular substance, this particular, atom, or atom is very big though, even though the cause. If you summarize it as simulast, then we can ask another question. The simulast thing, what it made of, right? It made of. It is simulast substance. That means, so what made of is? So we still raise question. So that means according to Buddhist philosophy, and even though according to the reality level, I think the phenomena which is arise through causes and conditions must be impermanence. They never be permanent. So within the impermanence or within the conditioned phenomena, we can divide into how many? 3 groups, 3 categories. So impermanent is not just one pieces. So it has 3 pieces. It has 3 divisions. What? Form,
Matter.
Conscious matter, the form of matter, consciousness, nor consciousness, nor matter. It was non-associated phenomena. Look at, now we have so many things on the planet. There are so many things on the other planets, but we cannot make a calculation. But for us, very easy to put over. Doesn't matter how many things exist on the planet, how many human beings exist in the phenomena. We don't care. Everything must include into form or matter or consciousness and non-associated phenomena. So for example, then think about yourself. When you say I am, he is, she is, we just pick on just certain object, certain thing, not really like this. When you think about yourself, we have a body. Body is not you. You have a consciousness. Your consciousness is not you. And you have another past. All of them not really you. So that's meaning the impermanence phenomena must be including the form, consciousness, and non-associated formation. So what is the example of form or matter? For example, this book. Why we call this book is form or matter. Because it consists or it is come into being due to the main 4 element or 4 element energy. So there's a definition of form you must understand. So within the form, we have how many? 2 categories. External form or inner form. So within the external phenomenon, external form, we have 5, right? Form, right? There's a matter and sound, smell, taste, and number 5, tactile, tangible, right? So that means that all the external form or matter must be included in 5. There's not more than 5. All the hearing thing is sound. All the thing which you can touch, is called form. the smell test. Then we finish the external. Within the inner form, we have inner, what?
Matter of inner object.
Yeah, matter of inner object, we have a 5. 5? What are the 5? 5 aggregates. 5 faculties. 5 faculties. So you shouldn't have a confusion, 5 faculties and the 5 senses. The 5 faculties are form of matter. The 5 senses are senses, it means consciousness. Right? So within the inner form object, we have a 5. So I hope you understand, you remember that. The external form, we have a 5. Right? Form,
sound,
smell, taste,
touch.
Tangible, yeah. Touch, tangible. So within the form, we have a 2 category, right? Color and shape. So we have an 8 category with the shape. So we have I think 11 category with the color, substantial color and primary color. So they are not that important. A sound. Within the sound, we have a 2 category. What are they? Conjoined and unconjoined. Conjoined and conjoined, right? So it's very difficult to say. Joined. What does it mean here? Conjoined and unconjoined.
Motivated or non-motivated?
Yeah, motivated by someone or non-motivated by. So that means the sound, when we speak to someone, the sound is coming from your motivation, or there's some related with your feeling. So within the conjoined sound, we have 2 categories. One is carry the meaning, one is not carry meaning, is showing or not showing meaning. For example, let's say, maybe it can be meaning, cannot be meaning. Somebody say you want to call it, that means you are calling, is carrying, hey, hello. So there's a 2. So within the unconjoined sound, we have a 2. Carry the meaning, not carry the meaning. So within the meaning, we have the 2, pleasant, unpleasant. Uncarry meaning, we have pleasant, unpleasant. So within the conjoined sound, we have a 2, which we have pleasant and unpleasant sound. So here you must remember, when you have really used harsh words to someone, the harsh word always motivated by anger, attachment, desire, ignorance, hatred. So we really always very be careful when you speak to someone. When you are really angry, at that moment you really don't know what you are really doing, what you are really saying. After half hours, after 2 hours, after 1 day, then you feel sad, upset. Oh, I shouldn't use these words. It hurts you. You get upset yourself. It makes other people very unhappy. That's why we know within the 10 known virtues, right? 10 known virtues. There's a hardship. Also, when you do some chanting, when you recite some mantra or chanting or whatever, the first motivation is so important. Without motivation, with a bad motivation, if you recite Hasudara, Diamond Sutara, whatever, you're not really accumulating good karma. Contrast, you're accumulating bad karma. So motivation, always there. And also, sometimes you shouldn't be very upset if somebody uses a harsh word, because the word is very strong, not nice, not beautiful. Behind the harsh word, there's a good motivation. For example, when parents give advice to the children, sometimes they use very strong words. But behind this word, the parent is wonderful, very pure, very compassion motivation. So sometimes when you have you should think, oh, maybe they have a good motivation, they have a good way to say for me. So you shouldn't be really upset. Motivation is so important. That's why as a Buddhist practitioner, as a Buddhist, we say when you do practice, three things are very important. The first, the motivation. Motivation. If you have a miscalculation beginning of the year, then you have a miscalculation whole year. When you make a calendar, if you have some miscalculation beginning of the calendar, then you have a whole miscalculation whole year. So motivation is so important. Especially as a Mahayana Buddhist, as a Mahayana Buddhist follower, you shouldn't have a motivation for only yourself, only your families and brother, only for human being. You should have a motivation for all sentient beings. Even when you offering some candlelight, incense is so small thing, so small basis. You should think, I'm going to offer this candle to the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha in order to benefit all sentient beings. Look at, the things are not important. Motivation is so important. For example, in the past, there was a Buddha statue top of the pass. In the raining season, someone passed the statue. They thought, oh, it's going to ruin.
Raining.
It's going to destroy, ruin. So the person doesn't have anything for covering. Then he had old shoes. He just covered with shoes. The second time someone saw, it's no good. He just throw away the shoes and he put in the corner of the rock. And one of the great practitioners, they saw both of them accumulate great merit, great karma, because of the motivation. And sometimes you shouldn't think, oh, I cannot accumulate a lot of merit, a lot of karma, because I don't have a lot of things offering. I don't have a lot of water I can offer him every day, all the Buddha. I don't have a fruit, 100 or 1,000 of fruit I can offer him every day. You shouldn't think this way. You should think, the motivation is more important than the thing. Even though when you offer one candle light, you just imagine one candle light become 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8 to 10, 100,000, billions of billions. You should think, you just imagine all the land, full by the candle light. Fruit, water, flower, whatever you could have, you just imagine, multiply. You shouldn't be really, upset. I don't have a lot of things to offer to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. You shouldn't think I don't have so many things which I can offer to the beggar, which I can offer to the needed people. So motivation is very important. So you can learn motivation. It's so important to study about the sound, the kanjang. Kanjang, yeah. And there's a story. So the unconjoined sound, how it can carry the meaning, how it can show the meaning. At the Buddha time, there's a sutra which is, in the sutra come from shaking the tree by wind. There's a tree, there's a wind, the wind shake the trees, and from the tree, the sutra come from the tree due to the Buddha blessing. And we give example. This is the sound, not really conjoined with the human kind of the body, because Buddha doesn't have a motivation. Do you know that?
No.
For example, look at sun. Doesn't have motivation. They just come and go and come, go, and if there's a shadow that is not really due to the sun, because due to their object. So Buddha already achieved Buddhahood. So Buddha is look like sun. If you have enough karma, then you can receive teaching from Buddha right here. If you don't have enough karma, even though just Buddha stay in front of you, you cannot see, even though when you see him, but you cannot receive the teaching. It's not like, it's come automatically without motivation. If Buddha need motivation, then Buddha need effort. Yeah, effort. Buddha don't know, it's just that come automatically. And also, according to Mahayan Buddhists, we shouldn't think Buddha Shakyamuni is not existing in this moment. He passed away. You shouldn't think. So he shows as a passed away in order to remember impermanence. So Buddha is always there. If you have enough lucky, you can see it. Even in Thai tradition, right? Thai or there's a Theravada tradition. They said yes, the history of Buddha. He born in the king family, then he lived as a normal people, then he practiced for 6 years, then he achieved Buddhahood, then he gave a teaching, and finally he passed away. At that moment, his mind and body totally disconnect. It's not like, they'd say, it's not like when you, or you say, there's a very nice painting on the wall. If you break the wall, the painting has gone. So when Buddha passed away, the body is just live there, the mind is totally, cease, no more continue, according to Theravada tradition. But very surprisingly, one of the high practitioners in Thailand, that is a truly practitioner, really high level of practitioner, the one day he met Buddha, he saw Buddha was there, surrounded by many Ariha and Aryat. So according to special Mahayan Buddhism, so we believe Buddha is still alive. After he or she achieve enlightenment, they never ever going to cease the continuum, always there. So when you see the Buddha statue in here, when you see Buddha statue in your like a prayer room or on the street, you shouldn't think it's just kind of arts. You shouldn't think just kind of like a rock, a stone or gold. You should think it's real Buddha. So this is why motivation is so important. You shouldn't think I don't have so many things I can offer. You just imagine with a good motivation. The sound. Then the test, I think there's a 6. And another one, textile, sound or smell, which we have a two, right? Natural and unnatural, artificial or real. All the incense is like artificial, it has an artificial smell. The sandalwood is a natural kind of smell. The flower has a natural smell. So why we, according to Buddhists, why we offer water, why we offer fruit, why we offer incense, why we offer sound? There's a true reason. As a human being, as a form realm, we always have a desire, attachment towards only 5. Form, sound, smell, taste, structure. If you have a strong attachment towards a particular fruit, you really want to eat, you don't want to give it. If you give it to someone, that means you really minimize, you are stingy. Also, if you offer a piece of the fruit, you really want to eat, but you still, then finally you offer to Buddha. Also, you minimize, you are stingy. All the offering thing must be antidotes of the negative emotions. When you offer candlelight, you are practicing giving, dana. Also, you reduce stingy. All the offering must put in practice, must become antidotes of the negative emotion. Otherwise, you just buy fruit and flower and water and so many, just put on the altar. If you don't have a good motivation, you don't have the why, you don't know the purpose of offering, and you just left. This means you just wasting your money. It is so important whatever you practice, you must try to be right antidotes of the negative emotion. Doesn't matter, small practice, bigger practice. Also I mentioned the first time, so as a Buddhist follower, we can divide in two groups. Some group, one group follow the Buddha teaching as their culture, their tradition, as their parents' culture. The group who follow this way, I don't think they can have really progress about the Buddha Dharma practice. Another group, they don't adopt or accept Buddha Dharma as a tradition, as a culture. They adopt Buddha Dharma as a necessary things for this life, for next life, through study, through understanding of Dharma, through education. So that's why it's so important to study, lot of analogy, lot of experiment. Then finally you can have a really pure Dharma. Once you receive pure Dharma, pure practice, therefore you not that really long way to achieve Buddhahood. For example, you can see the person who are really profession or like painting. He or she can make a painting very nicely, very quickly. The person who really don't know little bit here and there, they really don't know fully, I don't think they can make a very nice painting and a perfect one. They make little bit and clean again, make and clean. They're never ever going to finish the perfect, nice painting within one life. So look at why I'm saying the Buddhahood, the Nirvana is not that far if you have a good education, if you got good teaching. That means there's a really very strong and very hard football. We can kill a football. So you have a pen. So you need to make a hole, or you need to release the air. If you don't know where you need to punch, so difficult to make a hole, so difficult to release the air. Puncture. Yeah. If you know this particular place, pardon?
Weak spot.
Weak spot. If you push the pen, it's really very easy. So we look like this, we have so many stuff, we have so many knowledge, we have so many things, we have so many things, but we don't know how to put everything into one pieces in a nice way. That's why we have a lot of confusion, we don't have a lot of good progress about Buddha practice. So we really must know the core, right? The main point.
The core.
Like the main point. Core, the main point. Actually, it's a core.
There's no K behind it. C-O-R-E, core. No, there's no K sound behind.
Okay, anyway. So you must know the core. Yeah. So, so important to study. So this is talk related to the motivation, the sound, the smell. So now we move a little bit about the non-associated formation. So within our body, including the form, or all the mind's negative, doesn't matter, negative, positive emotion is put into consciousness group. So number three, non-associated formation. I promised to him, I'm not going to say first and then number two. First, second, third, fourth. Okay, so within the non-associated formation, we have two categories. One is sentient being.
With life and without life.
Yeah. So the easy way to say one is sentient being, one is not sentient being with the non-associated formation. So we are sentient being with the non-associated formation. All the Buddha, not the Bodhisattva. Okay, Bodhisattvas are still sentient being. All the Buddha, Buddha Shakyamuni, Amida Buddha, Manjushri, Kongye, all of them including Buddha, which is non-associated formation.
With life or without life?
With life. Yeah. With life is someone sentient being, one is not sentient being. So you shouldn't, when you have Bodhisattva, you shouldn't think Bodhisattva are Buddha. They are on the path to Buddhahood, not haven't reached yet. Look at, when we say sentient being, who has a mind, who has a kind of negative emotion or negative imprints, not yet reached to Buddha, then we call sentient being. When we say Buddha, Buddha is fully enlightened, fully gain knowledge, fully eliminate all the negative emotion, negative thoughts, as the imprint which is left by all the negative emotion and ignorance. Buddha. The Bodhisattva, who fully cultivate, develop bodhicitta, then we can name he or she is Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva not necessarily be monks and nuns. The person, even though the cow, the sheep who develop bodhicitta, that we can call Bodhisattva. Do you know the history of Buddha Shakyamuni when he cultivated bodhicitta? You will know. So Buddha, before he achieved Buddhahood, and one day he was in the hell. So he was pulling the cart,
CRT,
cow, very heavy wood. And he's like a kind of partner. Can you say partner? So weak. So he cannot pull with him. So the hellman, beating strongly through his like a partner. And Buddha said, you shouldn't be to him. I will pull myself. Then the hellman, hit very strongly on his head, and he dead. Then he born in the heaven, Tushita. We call Tushita. Look at that moment, Buddha Shakyamuni cultivate bodhicitta. There's two different ways we can develop bodhicitta. One is through the 7 kind of causes and condition. One is exchange yourself and others. Look at that moment. I can, pull the heavy for myself. Then he totally, take on his suffering. He totally take all his duty. So at the first time, he developed bodhicitta in the heart.
That is a bodhicitta, or that is a compassion?
Bodhicitta. Yeah, bodhicitta. Because there's 2 different ways of bodhicitta we can develop. One, the person who is really intelligent, and he or she can develop the bodhicitta through exchange yourself and others. So Buddha Shakyamuni developed bodhicitta in the heart. Also, there's so many other sentient beings, which is not human being, still they can develop bodhicitta. So not necessarily be bodhicitta, not necessarily be, human being, or kind of like a god and godless. So so that's why Buddha, Bodhisattva shouldn't mix, and Arya and Arha shouldn't mix. Arya and Arha, Arya and Arha. So within the non-associated formation, we have 2 groups. So all sentient beings with the life, and all the Buddha also with the life must include in non-associated formation. So here I talked a little bit at the last time. So look at now, I said, look at, we have a consciousness, we have a body. So I said, I mentioned my consciousness is not me, my body is not me. Then who really you are? Who you really are? Your body, who you really are. And also we believe as a Buddhist, we believe in next life. We believe in previous life. So which part of my me is come from previous life? Which is really going to next life? So I said, the physical body come from my parents. Definitely, even the modern science accept, everybody accept. And there's a question, because non-Buddhist, non-Buddhist, in India, non-Buddhist, some school, one school, they don't believe in next life. They don't believe in previous life. They said, person and consciousness. It look like alcohol and energy of alcohol. When the alcohol change, the energy change. And also he said the person and the mind look like the painting on the wall. When we break the wall, we break the painting. Also he said it look like the candle and candle light. And that moment there was no candle, there's the oil and the light of the oil. When the oil finish, the light finish, no more light. When you're dead, when you died, when your death come, you are dead, your consciousness is dead, no more next life. So what, are you really think there's a next life? Are you really think there's a previous life? You really need to think very, precisely. Because we have been doing these things since we born, we praying, chanting, reciting, offering. We spend a lot of time because we wish we will be born in good life in the next time. If you really don't believe in previous life and the next life, if you don't believe previous life, then there's no way you accept karma, bad karma, good karma, negative action. If you are not really to believe in next life, then you don't need to accumulate a lot of merit, a lot of karma. Just live very simple way, work very hard, and get a lot of money, just spend the money as your enjoyment. So it's not only we accept next life and previous life because Buddha says so, because somebody says so. Because look at it, we shouldn't think, whatever Buddha tells, whatever Buddha taught, you shouldn't think everything is, kind of totally truth. For example, sometimes Buddha taught about, soul. When he gave a teaching to the the people who have a kind of strong belief in Hinduism. So he gave a teaching about there is a soul. And when next time when he will meet another people who is really related advanced, then the Hindu people, and then he said there's no soul. So, we shouldn't take everything as literally what Buddha said. So you must ask question yourself. First you ask question, there's a previous life or not just second, there's next life or not. Then you think, there's a previous life, there's a next life. If you really convince yourself, then second you should ask question, I have a job, I'm an educated person, I have a position, I'm okay, I'm very healthy, my body is healthy, my mind is healthy. Do I need religion? Do I need to believe in religion? Do I need to practice Dharma or not? The first question. Then somebody think, I don't think I need a religion. I don't think I need to believe a religion. Because I have a job, I have a money, I am healthy. I don't need any religion. It makes a lot of confusion. It makes a lot of conflict in the society. We don't need religion. Right? Somebody this way. So that's why the one question, very important, you should ask yourself, do I need to believe in religion or not? Somehow, if you think, yes, for me it is so important to believe in religion, then what kind of religion I need to believe? So if you go this way, then when you believe a religion, you really believe in religion. When you practice Dharma, you really seriously practice Dharma. Otherwise, you look like, something okay, something not really, not this way. It's so important to ask questions yourself, So that's why, we shouldn't just follow what the Buddha said. You shouldn't follow all the masters says. You just this he or she says something, but we study. We really need just get the point with the reasoning, with the logic. If you're not totally logical person, if you just follow what does other people say, other masters say, then today you believe something, tomorrow you will believe another things. Then you look like piece of paper, middle of the road. One car come this side, they push other side. One car come other side, they push this side. Then you don't have your own kind of school, your own thoughts stable. So through study, through questioning yourself, then you really find out, are you really believe in next life or not? Are you believe in religion or not? Is so important or not? Okay, so this is kind of extra kind of talk. So we finish the form and the non-separation. Now we little bit talk about the consciousness. The consciousness also is so difficult to understand because when you look at, we can see only the physical body. We cannot see the minds. We cannot see the consciousness. When you open your head, you can find there's a, when you open your head, you can find just kind of a flesh.
Brain.
Let's say directly man-body brain. Still, even you open brain, you cannot see nothing, just brain liquid, kind of liquid, hard liquid. So mind cannot find the brain. When you open your body, you will find a lung, heart, kidney, no consciousness. You cannot find. So how we can say consciousness is not a part of brain? How we can say? Because many people believe mind is not separate than the brain. Mind is such as activities of brain, right? Activity, like a function of brain. They show you, look at, this is the neuron, which is work with your eye consciousness. When the neuron break, something damage, you cannot see. Then they say, look at your eye consciousness not separate than the brain. We say, form is not separate, form is emptiness. It says form is not separate than the emptiness. Emptiness is not other than the form. Brain is not separate than the mind. Mind is not separate than the brain. It's just oneness. So if you look this way, then you can understand, you're going to understand, yes, the scientists explain this way, is maybe yes or maybe not, then you need to study. The best one, how we can prove the minds are not really, function of brain. The most important one, we need to study, I said that the concept time, right? Concept of time. In the first few weeks, I don't think there was a brain. Brain still not developed yet.
You mean the fetus?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the mother's womb.
Mother womb, very small pieces, just say, little bigger than the barley. As a Buddhist, we believe in that moment there's a consciousness, there's a minds. Also, we have to study that moment first. Second reason, each time, when we have a physical relation with someone, each time not necessarily we have a child. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. So what is the condition? Because both the parent, the father and mother side is perfectly okay. All the condition is there. Why not every time we shouldn't have a baby? That means there's another condition, consciousness. So we're going to put this way. Number 1, number 2. Number 3. The main point, number 3, so we believe, I say, all the impermanence phenomena must have a true different types of cause and cause and condition. One is substantial cause, one is what? Primary cause. So the substantial cause means, the cause transforms as a result, not same as everything. But somehow, for example, I said the golden ring. The first there is a piece of gold, the gold transforms as an earring. Next time the earring transforms as like a ring, right? Ring. That means the piece of golden just going continuously. Earring, then ring, then maybe next spoon. But the piece of golden, the piece of gold, we never transform as a consciousness. The consciousness we cannot transform as a gold. That means the consciousness, the substantial cause of any consciousness must come from other consciousness. For example, this life consciousness must come from previous life consciousness. The previous life consciousness is substantial cause of this life. That means we Buddhists prove the consciousness always, come from the consciousness, the continuum consciousness. And also, there's another kind of interesting recent, I think most of you saw in the news, in Mongolia.
Yeah, the mummified meditator.
They found like mummy. First time I said mummy, I felt very strange, mummy.
Let's say corpse.
Yeah, corpse. Corpse, not really corpse, is still alive. Yeah, this is not only here. They found a mummy from the underground. It's been almost 200 years old, but the scientists still believe, the scientists still say, they say still here that the monk is still meditating.
Not the scientist says, one of the high lama says that it's meditating.
No, this is Dr. Jerry.
Okay.
Yeah, and the scientists say it's still something there. Not only that, I think 50 years ago, in like Himalayan region, because there's a village we call Piti, another 12 hours from Dharamsala. The Indian road organization, they built a road. And during the walk, they found also mummy from the underground with a piece of cloth. Then they feel very strange. They leave side of the road and they check. They saw the hair is growing, and they kept, keep in the like a small. They built small shrine and keep there. And American scientists, Indian scientists, they came to see and check it. They found that mummy is more than 550 years old. Still, the hair is growing. When you look at the mummy, it looks like totally dry meat. Totally dry meat. When you touch it, you feel it's still fresh. This is still there. So look at that moment, if you test the brain, the brain totally stop functioning, no more functioning brain, no heart beating. So even though we have many cases in India, many high lama after pass away, somebody meditate on stay in meditation state. The longest one, I think, I remember 21 days. And the many scientists came and they did research. They found the brain is totally stopped, no more functioning. They found something here and there, heart, we call heart. And here heart is not referred to the big heart, which is the breathing, giving pressure, the blood.
The one that's pumping.
The heart is the center of the channel. We have a 3 channel, middle and left and right. So within the central channel, somehow there's a center of the heart. So when the consciousness leap from the center of the heart, then we can call he or she pass away. So as we Buddhists, we go very subtle level. So if you think these ways, so these different ways, then you can feel, you can think, yes, consciousness is not brain, and consciousness not only is not just function of the brain, is something else. So consciousness is so difficult to understand what does mean consciousness. So consciousness and mind, consciousness, awareness, and there's another one. Mind, consciousness, awareness. So I don't know, even though there's 4 R's equivalent. But I said I have a doubt because they say consciousness and mind is equivalent. But also we can divide mind and mental factors. The compassion, calmness, tolerance, anger, attachment, the contentments are not mind. They are mental factors. Mind and mental factors. So anyway, so the mind we can divide into, how many different ways we can divide? I think 5. The mind we can divide in 5 different ways we can divide. What? Wallet cognition, invalid cognition, mistaken, unmistaken, then self-awareness and other awareness, then conceptual and non-conceptual thoughts.
There's one more.
Mind and mental events. So the consciousness we can divide 5 different ways. Valid cognition, non-valid cognition. For example, when you look at the snow mountain, when you see the snow mountain is look like yellow, and that kind of ice consciousness is the invalid consciousness. When you look at the snow mountain, if you see the snow mountain as a white, then you can see this kind of consciousness is valid cognition. Here, another thing I think I must clear for you. For example, the horse, white horse.
Yep.
White horse is color, it is form or consciousness or non-associated formation. Which one?
White horse is a non-associated form. No. If you talk about the appearance, then it will be forms because it's a color and it has shapes. But if you talk about white horse, also have consciousness. So it is a sentient being. So white horse is a non-associated formations, which is a sentient being that has forms and has consciousness.
So white horse is non-associated formation or color?
White horse is a non-associated formation that is sentient beings.
Yeah, not the color.
Not a color.
So okay. White horse is white or black? Huh? White horse is white or black or yellow?
White.
White horse is white. So no, right?
Yes, I know you.
White horse is color?
No.
Because it is white.
No. White horse has a color.
No. White horse is white or not?
Horse. Yes, but
no. If you say yes, then finish.
Yes.
Yes.
In that context, white horse is white.
No. when you answer, according to, like Nalanda tradition, when you answer, you shouldn't say, oh, from this point of view, that point of view, that. You must say yes or not, generally. That's, you're right. When somebody asks, is white horse is white or not? I'm going to say no. White horse is horse. It's a sentient being. The color of the white horse is color, not the horse. That we must differentiate the white horse color and white horse. Okay, so that's why we had a lot of debate this kind of thing when we were.
Because Tibetan language and English language is different. Because when you ask me, is white horse white? Yes, white horse is white, but
Okay, if you say white horse is white, the second question is white horse is color
no.
because it is a white.
No.
White is you should say white horse, not white
We're talking about a
horse.
But if you say white, that's in comparison with, say, black horse.
Yeah.
So when you say white horse and black horse, then are you talking more of a colour?
Yeah. So
white horse is white.
no.
Because
White
White,
black horse?
so white horse is not white. Black horse is not black. The color of the white horse is white.
No.
The color of the black horse is color.
That's why you say, is white horse white? Then
No.
now, because you can only understand yes or no, right? So is white horse white?
No.
So yes, that's right.
It's a white horse is not white because
White horse
it
is
is no
horse.
It's a
color.
horse.
No.
It is horse. It is sentient being.
Sentient being.
Sentient being.
It's the language. It's the language.
Yeah,
It's
language.
language, because in English you don't say that. The logic of the
Not
language
if
itself.
you compare it
Yeah,
to
yeah.
a black horse, you can say yes, it's a colour. You're talking about.
Because when we say, the white
Complex.
horse is white, then mean you are talking about just color of the white horse. Yeah, anyway, so I think I pretty much summarize. So the next time we have a class about mind and mental factors. So we're going to talk with the EXCO member how long I should have a class. And also, among the study partner, you really need to give a feedback to the EXCO member.
I'm going to wrap it up after the class. We use the time for class as class, please.
No. I'm going to give a question answer.
Okay.
I don't have to finish on time.
You mentioned that you're going to have assignments, right? Paper assignment
Yeah.
questions. So there's no test per
Yeah,
se,
no test.
but there will be a assignment, optional, completely optional.
And also, I'm going to send you kind of the question, and please you just look the paper and make a open the books. It's very different way of exam.
It's a assignment.
Assignment.
The process of for you to find an answer,
Yeah.
to look for that, is more important than for you to spontaneously memorize things and
Yeah.
throw it out.
Because one day you are very close to the New Year's and also New Year, and also you are always busy. You are day-to-day activities. So before we talk more. So do you have any question? Is there any must clarify?
Just now you said Buddha is without motivation.
Yeah.
So that means that he has no conceptual thought.
No.
That means that he is a direct perceiving.
Yeah.
That is the reason he has no motivation.
Not only that reason, because he has a good question. So Buddha doesn't have a motivation because it look like I said that look like Buddha is look like a sun. The sun doesn't have any motivation. They just move from east to west and come, just give light for everywhere. But some corner of the place they cannot reach the light. It's not fault of the faults of the sun because of the different condition. So look at. So Buddha is a different concept too. After achieving Buddhahood, for example, Buddha Shakyamuni, since he achieved Buddhahood, he always remains in the meditation state. Always remain in the meditation state. Always his mind never moved right from the meditation on emptiness. But we can see someday Buddha is talking with someone, Buddha is eating, it's from our,
Naked eye.
yeah. But his mind always meditate on emptiness.
So his motivation
Absorb.
was not to make people understand.
Yeah,
So you wouldn't say a motivation was for him to teach, to make
Yeah.
us understand.
yeah. And
That's
it's-
not motivation.
No motivation, nothing. And also another important, even though historically, we can see, Buddha was born in certain year, then he spent 35 years until his family, then he ran away and stayed in the forest for 6 years, meditation, then achieved Buddha. It looked like almost 80 years. 80 years. But in the reality level, Buddha came to the world just 1 second. 1 second. Do you understand this kind of concept? So difficult. Just 1 second.
Please elaborate.
Even though I don't understand. Yeah,
What do you mean by
And-
come in 1 second?
1 second. Because coming Buddha term is look like there's a 1 step. But different level of disciple, different level of follower. But somebody can see Buddha talk, Buddha give a teaching for 10 years. Somebody saw Buddha give a teaching 1 day. Somebody saw Buddha give a teaching 1 minute. That's why we have a different level of Prajnaparamita. The greater Prajnaparamita has how many volumes, but it not exist in the world.
You mean the one that Nagarjuna ride on the
No,
horse,
no.
ride from one end to the other end?
No, this one I think it has in Tibetan language we have 16 volumes.
16
Volumes is also million, the million one.
300,000 stanza.
Yeah, this one the biggest one.
Yeah.
So someone has a lot of volumes. Volume. Somebody has a very small. For Prajnaparamita is very small. Smaller than the Prajnaparamita is the A. We call one syllable of Prajnaparamita. A. Just when somebody have A, the person can understand everything within just 1 second. So also he shows the 12 activities, right? Buddha 12 activities
12 interlinks activities.
within 1 second. So this I think according to Mahayana tradition, or maybe kind of related to the Tantrayana teaching, but this way. So he has Buddha doesn't have a motivation. It always absorb in meditation on emptiness. Always. Then the conceptual and non-conceptual, because the most important one, when we perceive emptiness first time, we must perceive emptiness or impermanence through conceptual thoughts. That moment, when you look at the particular object, you can see the object through your eyes, but you cannot see the emptiness, you cannot see the impermanence of the particular object through your eyes. But you have to understand through your thoughts, through your concept. That moment, and their consciousness perceive the emptiness or impermanence, that moment, the thoughts or conceptual thoughts kind of the image of impermanence, image of emptiness. And that the person practice impermanence or emptiness again and again, the image become more thin, subtle. Finally, the image of the impermanence will disappear. Then the mind can perceive emptiness directly. So when Buddha achieved Buddhahood, of course he already sees kind of the image of emptiness in his mind. He already sees. But especially when he achieved, before he achieved Buddhahood, so he sees, he eliminates the imprints which is left by the ignorance. It's so difficult to eliminate. So due to eliminate the ignorance, not only ignorance, due to eliminate the imprints which is left by ignorance, then there's no more any conceptual thoughts. Everything perceived directly. That's why Buddha, all Buddhas don't have a motivation. All Buddha don't have any conceptual thoughts. That's why they say Buddha always see everywhere, every time, very directly.
You use the terms image.
Yeah.
So is that a metaphorical?
Yeah, metaphorical. It's kind of metaphorical. For example, we can say image, as I mentioned, in this moment, everybody just imagine particular object in your home. It look like you can see the object.
It has
But
a
it is-
shape. It had its shape and color. It
Yeah,
has a form.
the shape is same as the object.
Because image. Now, I can say think about the consciousness. So think about consciousness. So you have a image of consciousness, but it's without form and shape. You have something. So metaphorically, you call it image of
Think about when you look at mirror,
mirror.
you can see your face in mirror, right? Mirror, but the image of your face in mirror is not separate than the mirror, but it looks like it has a shape.
Yes. Yeah.
It has shape.
It gives shape.
Yeah, that's why when you perceive, for example, when you look at the painting, in your unconscious it has an image, this kind of painting. We say, the mind, I don't know how to translate in English. It looks like, the pure piece of glass, like a diamond. When you leave the diamond on the yellow piece of cloth, the diamond, the color become yellow, right?
Yeah.
When you put the pure glass on the green piece of cloth, the piece of glass color become green. But the green color is not the nature of the piece of glass. It's not their nature. Right? That's why your mind is look like very piece of pure diamond or glass. When you look at the painting, your consciousness totally look like the painting. Look like painting. I'm not saying it became painting. When you look at the book, your consciousness, that's the kind of the entity, like it became as a kind of book. Look like a book. You have a kind of look like a book in image in your eyes. So that's why Buddha, all the Buddha doesn't have a motivation. They don't have a conceptual thoughts. Yes.
Geshe, I have a bit of problem with the use of the term that Buddha is permanent, as I think I advocated just now that in Vajrayana, Tantrayana, and Mahayana, right? Even in Zen, they say that, even on a relative level, you try to avoid describing Buddha, right? Because Tathagata itself, even in the Theravada tradition, that you have 12 questions that you cannot use to denote Buddha, right? The 12 samskrita terms, that Buddha is neither exist nor non-exist, right? I mean, this is also very much in line with Nagarjuna concept of Chatuskoti, right? The four corners of existent, non-existent, both existent, non-existent, and neither existent and non-existent, and beyond, right? So Buddha is beyond these, right? So if we use the term permanent, so
No, Buddha is not permanent.
okay,
Buddha Shakyamuni is impermanent.
okay. So this is the Theravadan belief, right? That he is not permanent.
No.
He has a body.
According to Theravada tradition, let's say, among our study partner, somebody achieved Buddhahood this moment, and he or she lives another 20 years. He or she is a Buddha. That moment, the Buddha has the dukkha, the physical body. We can say Buddha with the dukkha, left dukkha, still Buddha. So when the Buddha passed away, and the physical bodies live here, and at the same time, the consciousness, the continuum of the consciousness sits there, no more. Because Buddha already eliminated, clean or eliminate all the
Defilements.
karma, defilement. Then there's no way the Buddha can have another life due to the karmic action, due to the defilement. There's no any other cause. And so there's another cause or condition which is Buddha can take another life, according to Theravada tradition. Yes, this is what they believe this way. Also, not only that, among the 4 schools, the first 2 schools also believe this way. After you achieve Buddhahood and you pass away, then your consciousness totally sits there, no more consciousness, no more life.
I think this is very much related to the term nirvana, right? Because nirvana means nibbutta, enter into.
Yeah, Nibbana has 2 types of Nibbana. One, for example, Buddha Shakyamuni achieved Nirvana. Within the Nirvana, he used to live another 40 years, more than 40 years, 45 years. So at that moment, he achieved Nirvana
While living. Yeah.
while living. This type of Nirvana. The second Nirvana is Nirvana which is not with the Parinirvana. At that moment, then physical body is alive, also the consciousness is. But one question: who achieved that Parinirvana? Who achieved? So difficult to answer this question according to that tradition.
So, Geshe, again, coming back to this Tathagata, the concept of Buddhahood, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think in Tibetan Buddhism, you have a wide range of dialectics also among the school like Gelugpa
Mm-hmm.
and also Dopopa, right?
Mm-hmm.
And among Dopopa, they believe Tathagata is permanent, right? Is that the problem that's why the disagreement?
No. All the Tibetan Buddhists, all the 4 Tibetan Buddhist tradition, they accept same. But you are right, because you said Tathagata is permanent or impermanent. This is different concept. So we have to go different level. For example, there's a four Buddha, four form Kaya
Buddha.
Kaya
Sambhogakaya.
Buddha, Rupa Kaya, Nirvana Kaya, Sambhu Kaya. Right? So Rupa Kaya, Rupa Kaya, Dharma Kaya. So Dharma Kaya. So what? Could you give me example of the Dharma Kaya? Rupa Kaya is the body. Right? Dharma Kaya. So actually he raised the big question. So we have to explain the 4 Kaya. Rupa Kaya, Dharma Kaya, Nirma Kaya, Sambhuga Kaya. The Dharma Kaya is a Dharma Chebu. What is the example of Dharma Kaya? What do you think? So the example of Dharma Kaya is emptiness of the Buddha mind. Then look at emptiness of the Buddha mind is permanent. emptiness of the Buddha mind, or the nature of the Buddha mind. The finest nature of the Buddha mind is permanent, is emptiness. That's why, generally speaking, the Buddha has four, Rupagaya, Dharmakaya, Sambhogaya, whatever. Generally, there's a Buddha which is permanent. There has a kind of common ground, common between Buddha and permanent. That's why, generally speaking, you can say Buddha is permanent. So this is different, so we have to learn when we study about Lamrim, and of the Lamrim, they're talking about Nirvana. So now it's finished now. Any question? Okay, so I really want to say, would like to say really thank you so much for coming this class. And everybody knows my English is very poor. And the next time we will have a class of mind and mental factors. Also, if you are not busy, then you try to attend the class. And then you will learn more about mind and mental factor. Then you will learn more about the negative thoughts, emotion. And you will, one important, you're going to learn what is the most obstacle of the single pointed meditation. So the next lesson I'm going to give you some information about mind and mental factors. The third class, which we're going to teach about the tenets. So I will give you some rough idea of information about the different level of school. Then you're going to have a quite good material about studying Lamrim and practice of Lamrim.